At the moment, what we've received is what is essentially a question around a technical or regulatory labelling issue. These questions come to us every now and then from different customers, remembering that agriculture is an enormous exporter of a lot of product. We respond to those questions when they come to us, as we are in this case. So at this stage, through our Trade Minister, Simon Birmingham, Australia is seeking clarification on the questions that are being asked and are seeking to answer those questions. What's really important to understand is Australia has one of the best agricultural industries in the world, and so we should welcome the questions that challenge the way we do things and be able to respond openly to continue that trade. So China's asked a set of questions which are technical in nature, and we intend to respond to those quickly.
Michael, just give our viewers a sense of just how broad that ban is on the beef sector. Just how much of our exports of beef to China do those 4 abattoirs represent?
So overall, 2/3 of what Australia produces is exported, and about 1/3 of that goes to China. It represents around 18% of our beef exports and around 48% of our barley exports. The 4 abattoirs in question represent a reasonably small percentage of that, but nonetheless a meaningful percentage. But it's also important to remember we have many customers and many markets around the world, and we work with those markets and those customers all of the time. So we have other customers and other places for that product to go, but equally China is an important market for us, and it's important we understand these questions and respond to them quickly.
Obviously, the sector's worked closely with China for many years now. I understand this sort of suspension has happened before. It happened back in, I believe it was 2017. Are you convinced that this is just another stumble like the one we saw back then, or are you concerned that it is a push against the Morrison government and its approach on this COVID-19 inquiry?
There's nothing that suggests to us as industry that this is anything other than a question that comes along every now and then from different customers about our products from our export markets, and we respond in that way. So for people to be trying to conflate other issues with this is not helpful. As our Trade Minister has said today on the TV, we've received a question from an important customer of ours in China, and we intend to respond to that question quickly and fully.
China's ambassador did, though, just a few weeks ago, flag beef exports as one area that China could target if its displeasure with the Morrison government's handling of the coronavirus issue did continue. He also mentioned wine, for that matter. We know that there are concerns over barley as well. What other products would be an easy target for China to ban if it did go down that route?
A couple of things are really important to know about China as a market, and indeed about the global marketplace for Australian agriculture. Firstly, China is an important customer and is an important market for us, and we sell a range of products to China. So it's not just beef, it's not just barley, and indeed it's not just agricultural product. But we also have a large number of other markets. China, albeit as one of our biggest markets, is one of a number of markets that we sell to. The second thing to recognise that's very important is Australian agriculture is one of the best industries in the world in terms of our animal welfare, our environmental credentials and the product we produce. So we can have a lot of confidence that our product will be in demand going forward around the world, and we will work very hard to look after all of our customers and markets as we have done to date. Every now and then a market will ask questions of us, and indeed, as you've raised in 2017, the Chinese asked some questions of us as they have now. Then, as we will now, we'll answer those questions and work with those customers to keep up what is a trade that supports us as an exporter and them as an importer with their needs. So a mutually beneficial trading relationship, very important to Australia and indeed important to China.
As you mentioned, the Trade Minister, Simon Birmingham, is handling this issue. He's requested an urgent meeting. So far, it doesn't seem that that request has been granted yet. Are you happy with the government's handling of this issue so far?
Normally with these trade questions, the important thing to do is to keep it out of the media, to work behind closed doors with those who've asked the question. So it's entirely appropriate, and industry supports the Trade Minister seeking a meeting with his counterpart in China to understand the question in detail and allow us to respond to it properly. Anything else is inappropriate and unhelpful at this stage. So conflating it with other things doesn't help. Talking about it through the media rather than directly to an important customer doesn't help either. Let's respect it for what it is, a genuine question from an important customer that deserves answering, and we're seeking to do that as quickly as we can, and the Trade Minister has asked for that meeting with his counterpart as an important step in that process.